Hello friends, I am Elliot and this is my wife Miriam, and in this video we will take you with us to Nazaré and Coimbra, Portugal. We start our adventure by taking an hour-and-a-half bus ride from Lisbon to Nazaré, where we will stay 2 nights. Once we arrived in Nazaré, we made our way to our Airbnb. We ended up talking to the very sweet lady who owned the property for about 20 minutes, even though we didn't know much Portuguese, and she knew even less English. Our Airbnb was great overall, but the best feature was the patio and the view. After we got settled, we headed out to find some food. We ended up at the beautiful Restaurante Tabernassa. Keep in mind the prices I put on the screen include drinks and desserts. After dinner, we grabbed a few groceries, walked back to our Airbnb, and enjoyed the evening looking over this beautiful town. The next morning, we wandered back through town and started our day with a nice brunch at Sabor Art Cafe. We then headed to Fort São Miguel Arcanjo. It was first constructed in 1577 for the purpose of defending Nazaré from attacks by Algerian, Moroccan, Dutch, and Norman pirates. One of the things that Nazaré is known for is its waves. Many of the world's most prestigious surfing competitions are held on this beach. In 2020, a world record was set when the German surfer Sebastian Stotner rode a wave that measured 86 feet tall. While exploring the older part of town, we found the Church of Our Lady of Nazaré. This church was actually built in 1377, but has gone through multiple renovations throughout the years, especially in the 1600s. The blue and white tiles were added in the 1700s. The church's artwork is centered around the legend of Nazaré. The legend goes like this. In 1182, there was a Knights Templar out hunting on horseback and started chasing a deer. All of a sudden, a heavy fog rose up from the sea. The deer ran towards the edge of a cliff and jumped over the edge. The knight, whose horse was about to follow the deer over the cliff, called out to Mary, who then appeared in the clouds and miraculously stopped the horse, saving the life of the knight. We really loved our stay in Nazaré, and we loved the neighborhood we stayed in. Like most places in Portugal, we both felt we could have spent a lot more time there. I didn't film it, but in the evening we had a lovely dinner at Restaurante Gil Vincent, and we did some shopping and strolling along the beach. It was perfect. The next day, we hopped on another bus and headed for the city of Coimbra. In Coimbra, we stayed 2 nights at the beautiful Hotel Mondego. The location was great. It was close to restaurants, shopping, and a lot of the attractions we wanted to see. For dinner, we went to Coisas de Lena, and I just want to pause right here for a second. 1, because my camera doesn't like the lighting, and 2, to describe this sandwich. This is made with layered bread, ham, sausage, roast steak, and a tomato beer sauce. If you go to Portugal, do not miss it. Miriam also got the cod, or bacalhau. The next morning, on our way to breakfast, we stopped by the Church of Santiago. Work began on this church sometime before 957. We had breakfast at a beautiful cafe called Caju. I would definitely recommend it. Coimbra is an old city. It dates back to Roman times when it was known as Aminium. It was also once the capital city of Portugal from 1131 through 1255. We took a stop at the old cathedral of Coimbra. Its construction started sometime after 1139, as Coimbra was then the capital city. In 1185, the second king of Portugal was actually crowned here. In the 16th century, there was many additions to the cathedral, such as the chapel walls being covered in tiles from Spain. We then went to the Machado de Castro National Museum. Here we were able to explore Roman crypts that are over 2,000 years old. The crypts were built as a platform for a Roman forum, and later were the foundations of a palace built for a former bishop. The palace now houses an incredible collection of Portuguese sculptures and art. The rest of the museum was really wonderful. We just kept walking through exhibits saying how beautiful everything was, and how much Portuguese history we were learning. If you find yourself in Coimbra, this is a must-see. After the museum, we wandered around the campus of the University of Coimbra. The university was established in 1290 and is one of the oldest universities in continuous operation in the world. We then found a quick bite at Italianino before continuing our exploration. For dinner that evening, we decided to try Michelin star restaurant Solar do Bacalhau. It was by no means bad, but it wasn't even close to our favorite restaurant on this trip. Thank you so much for joining us on our adventures. If you enjoyed this video, show us by hitting the thumbs up button, and consider subscribing to our channel. In our next video, we are going to travel to the beautiful city of Porto.